So the trade deadline is approaching, and there's a lot of players that are free. There's a lot of players that have been talked about or in trades. There's a lot of players that may not see eye to eye with the organization. There's a lot of players sitting at home right now. And what I want to do is I wanted to have trade deadline moves that need to happen. Now, do I think they will all of these will happen? Of course not. If all these happen, call me for the lottery. I don't see all these happening, but I think they should happen. Not only will they be better for the player, but they'd be better for the team. Let's start with one. What's one thing that the Clippers need? The Clippers have Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers have Paul George. And all we've heard is the Clippers need a point guard. The Clippers need a point guard. I understand you have Patrick Beverley, but you need a player that is a pure point guard. Especially in the offseason, we heard about Rondo. We heard they made a push at Rondo, and of course he ended up in Atlanta. But they need a pure point guard. So I think they need to target Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, while he's not the greatest shooter, his shooting has improved, but he is a great passer, and he is a solid. He's a decent defender. And of course, you'll still have Patrick Beverley, but I think Lonzo Ball would fit like a glove. Not to mention, when you have a lot of offensive players and two great two-way players in Kawhi and Paul George, I think that you need a point guard who isn't really going to look for a shot, but that can get others involved. And I think Lonzo Ball, the Clippers should go for Lonzo Ball should go to the Clippers. So that's one move. Of course, another move that we've heard and I think should and probably will happen is Andre Drummond going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a plethora of offense. You have KD, you have James Harden, you have Kyrie. But what is their biggest problem? There is defense. And they can't defend a soul. And rim protection is also a huge problem. Of course, we clearly see. DeAndre Jordan is not a rim protector. And I think you want to bring on a person like Andre Drummond who can not only give you paint points, but can protect the rim. And seeing that he was bought out or more than likely he's headed for the buyout market from Cleveland, I think that he'll be a big pickup for Brooklyn. Now, of course, I understand some of these players aren't available or may not be available. I understand some of these players may not be traded. I understand some of these players may not even be on the team right now. And I understand some of these players are probably headed for buyout. But hey, this is my podcast. You know what I mean? Let me do me. Moving forward, Blake Griffin. Now, where have we seen Blake Griffin thrive? When he's played alongside a quality point guard, which is Chris Paul. Now, do I think that Blake Griffin should go to Phoenix and join Chris Paul? No, I do not. But I do think Blake Griffin would be great in Dallas with with Luka Doncic. I think Luka Doncic's passing ability, along with his offense, would and it kind of takes away or takes some of the offensive load off of Blake Griffin. I think Blake Griffin will thrive with Luka, seeing as though Luka can also stretch the floor and he can kill you from three, he can kill you anywhere pretty much. But I think Dallas should go for Blake Griffin. Not to mention, and Blake Griffin he's improved as a shooter. He's still a high flyer, even though he hasn't dunked in like a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. I think that look that up. He hasn't dunked in like a year and a half, which I think is crazy. But playing alongside Luka, those pick and rolls could be dangerous. So I think Dallas should go for Blake Griffin. And if Dallas goes for Blake Griffin, I think Kristaps Porzingis should go to Boston. One thing Boston does not have is a center. I'm not trusting Tristan Thompson as a starting center. Now, you can look at Kristaps Porzingis and say, wait a second, injury history, I understand that. But when you have a Jason Tatum, when you have a Jaylen Brown, a lot of the scoring onus is not going to be on Kristaps. And I think, I think he could be a piece that Boston needs to propel themselves to greatness. So another person, let's just stay with Boston for a little bit. Another person that should go to Boston is Victor Oladipo. Like I said, outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you don't really have many scoring pieces. And for the fanboys, I understand. What about Kemba Walker? Look, Kemba Walker struggled this entire year. He's had some flashes, and of course he still has time to turn it around. But Kemba Walker ain't been the savior that everyone thought he would be. So you have Kemba Walker with Victor Oladipo and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and maybe Kristaps Porzingis. That is a team that can get you to the championship. I don't know if it'll win it, but that is a team that can get you to the championship. Make the move, Boston. Look, hey, yo, pick that up. Go pick that gem up. I'm dropping gems for y'all, okay? As Joe Budden would say, go pick that up. I'm dropping gems. Boston, go get Kristaps Porzingis. You might have to trade. You might have to trade away Kemba Walker. I get that. But that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is do that. Go get Victor Oladipo. I'm sure you're not going to be able to trade Kemba Walker to Houston because they already got John Wall, but go get Victor. They already don't want him on the team, apparently. Go get him. Let's move on. Golden State. Let me help Golden State out. Let me help Golden State. And let me help this one player who a lot of people forgot he's still even playing, and that's Kevin Love. I've said this. This has been talked about for probably 2 to 3 years now. Kevin Love would fit perfectly with Golden State. Not only he doesn't really create like Draymond. He's you know what he is? He's pretty much a big man's Klay Thompson. He'll kill you from three, and he's great rebounding. Klay Thompson's great defending, and that's while you still have James Wiseman, who's young. You still have Andrew Wiggins. You still have Kelly Oubre. Bring on a Kevin Love. And as we've seen, outside of Stephen Curry this year, especially with Klay Thompson being out, Golden State really doesn't have a reliable second shooter. I think their best second shooter is Damian Lee. And I think he's only on the team because he's married Steph's sister. So it is what it is. But and don't get me wrong, shouts out to you, Damian Lee. You're still a good player. But yeah, Kevin Love, Golden State, y'all gotta come together. Make it happen. Make it happen. Washington, let me help. Let me help out Washington. I understand. Wait, but Washington, you're only saying Washington because that's where you're from. Okay. And this is the Unpopular Podcast with Jalen Hunter. This isn't the Unpopular Podcast with you. If you don't like it, leave it in the comments. I appreciate you. I really do. I love you guys. But Washington, what is their two biggest problems? Outside of Bradley Beal and I guess Russell Westbrook, they don't really have a reliable third scorer, and they can't defend a parked car. So what do? You go get a third option scorer, and you go get a defensive player. Who is somebody that is just lurking out there? We've heard that they might be unhappy with the team, and the team may want them gone. PJ Tucker. You bring PJ Tucker on, who's also a three-point shooter and a great defensive player, and you see, if you look at the defensive shares between when he's on the floor for Houston and when he's off, it's huge. Bring on PJ Tucker. And who else do you bring on, Washington? Hey. I'm not done dropping gems. Don't pick them up just yet. You bring on Aaron Gordon. Now, Aaron Gordon might be a lot. He might be a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I'm sure you're going to be drafting pretty high. So you give them this year, maybe next year's draft picks. Maybe give them, I don't know, Rui Hachimura or something. And you got yourself a team that has Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Aaron Gordon, and PJ Tucker. That is a team right there. That team will definitely get you to the playoffs, to say that. and you're trying to sweeten the pot for Bradley Beal to want to stay. Hey, go for him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Washington. Hey, I know I'm not a GM, but pick them gems up, all right? That's all I'm saying. Lakers. I'll help the defending champions. Lakers. What the Lakers struggle with shooting yet again. The Lakers can't shoot a three. Their best shooter is LeBron James. That is a problem. Go get J.J. Redick. You get J.J. Redick. It's not someone that's going to dominate the ball. It's not someone that really needs to dribble the ball a lot. Get J.J. Redick. Now that you can play him alongside Dennis Schroeder, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. That is if that's not a 2P, I don't know what is. J.J. Redick is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league and has been since he got into the league. Get J.J. And lastly, I know you see him on the back. You see him if you're watching the YouTube. You see him. Let me talk about Demar Derozan. Demar Derozan, he's been in trade talks since he got to San Antonio. And I understand that you're not getting Kawhi Leonard, you're not getting Tim Duncan, you're not getting Manu, you're not getting prime Manu or prime Tony Parker. But DeMar DeRozan is still a quality offensive player. And even still, his name is in trade talks. So let me help you, DeMar. Hey, I got you, bro. Hey, I got you, bro. DeMar DeRozan, go to Indiana. Indiana has incredible young pieces. You have Sabonis. You have Malcolm Brogdon. You have the Holiday brothers, or two of the Holiday brothers. You have Miles Turner. But one thing that they don't have really is a player, an all-star caliber player that can put the ball on the ground and get their own points. I'm saying this. If DeMar DeRozan was on if DeMar DeRozan was on Indiana with the pieces they have, Indiana is good enough to make at least the Eastern Conference Finals. I would put them in the Bucks, Brooklyn, Philly. I would put them in that bunch because you have a dominant big man in Sabonis. You have a quality point guard in Malcolm Brogdon, and then you'll have a person that creates his own shot constantly, and that is that would be DeMar DeRozan. So that's all I'm saying. I understand that a lot of those moves probably won't happen. Some of them could. Who knows? I'm just saying. I'm trying to help the player and the team. I'm trying to help y'all. All right.